Hello and welcome to page 16 of my graphic novel slash graphic comic strip, Found Earth. I hope you're enjoying this neat little animation here. It took me about a month to draw. There's about 260 some odd individual drawings. Looking at maybe 8 frames a second, I think. 24 frames a second. Something. I don't know. It's not Disney quality, but it's some animation. So again, this page finds me starting with the mechanical pencil and not my trusty carpenter's pencil. I think I had a very detailed idea of what I wanted to do. So it starts with this big splash panel that takes up over half the page. I like drawing dinosaurs, and that's part of my inspiration for this. When I was growing up, I had several books about dinosaurs, and they had these really extravagant watercolor illustrations. I'll have to look it up and see if I can find where it's at so I can get you the author and all that stuff. But I just remember the title was Dinosaurs with an exclamation point. And they had these really, it was written in the 80s, so it had the knowledge from that time period put into the illustrations for that novel. So everything was all lizards and big, dumb, slow animals and so on. So it has to be forgiven for that. But the illustrations were, they were mind-opening for me as far as what could be done with art and my love of prehistoric creatures and dinosaurs and things. So that's part of where the inspiration for this comic strip comes from. The love of dinosaurs and stuff. So I had to make sure to include some dinosaurs into my comic strip or my stories when I started making them. So like every other organic creature in my little universe I'm creating here, they all have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Muppet noses. I don't know. They're easy to draw. They're fun to draw with, and they keep the universe intact as a whole. Give it some consistency, and it's all cartoony fun stuff. So it doesn't. I'm not looking for scientific accuracy here. So I've got the robots. They're standing around. What are we going to do? You know, somebody needs to go explore this thing. Who are we going to send? It's dangerous. So on and so forth. And the robot that's been doing all the work raises his hand again. I don't know why he hasn't learned not to raise his hand, but he's asking who's going to go do it. And the last panel is obviously he's the one getting pushed out of the bush to go check out the giant creature there that's eating the tree. It's a nice little cartoony, Looney Toony moment. Pushing somebody through the bush, you get to see a little bit of the ground getting pushed out ahead of him like a little rug. It all harkens back to the Looney Tunes, the Bugs Bunny moments, and stuff. That kind of situational comedy with the expressions and stuff. Again, I like to keep the inking open. I like to put a lot of detail into things because, you know, the line work and stuff of the early '90s comic book artists really inspired me. Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, they all Mark Silvestri, they all noodled the heck out of their drawings and added so much detail work. You couldn't help but admire their work. So I tend to do a little bit of that kind of thing with the foliage and maybe some of the creatures, at least the organic ones. Robots are pretty straightforward. Plus, it makes it more interesting if it does in fact become a coloring book, or if it doesn't become a coloring book, at least the black and white illustration is more interesting to look at. But the inking process is pretty straightforward. I use a 005 for the tight little illustrations and the tiny little details, and I use a 01 for most of the basic shapes, and for the heavier things I do a 05. I tend to use a 03 for the sound effects and the dialogue, just to give it a different size, to make it stand out enough from the 01 and the 005, but not enough to make it jump out at you more than anything else. Little line action drawings comes from like anime, like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and the old like anime comic books, that kind of deal. Just to show motion. I like doing that. I like showing the motion, making the image as easy to read as possible. I love his facial expression. There I go back in, adding some more detail. I didn't realize that the video would be moving so fast when I was holding up the page to the camera, so just kind of take that moment to blink. This is me giving the panels a good inking so that we can delineate where each of the panels end, what kind of space they take up. I don't know, that's just some of the inspirations. That's just walking through some of this drawing here. Looney Tunes, early 90s comic books, animation, Muppets, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all those are inspirations. I mean, just take a little bit of everything and throw it into what you're doing and see what comes out of the blender, I guess. Nice big black marker to cover everything up. But that's about it. It's about finished. The video is about over, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I rambled in a way that you found enjoyable. And share this with all your friends, and please continue to like, share, and support on the Patreon page. Check me out on YouTube at Dream of Art 1, the number 1. And share that with all your friends. I will see you next week, and thank you for watching. Man, that's a great panel. I love my little kneaded eraser. Alright, I'll see you next week. Bye.